All right. Sound check, sound check. Check, check, check. Last time it was really distorted and loud, but we'll see.
How are your Jerry curls?
On Jerry curls, they're doing all right.
Okay.
All right. Let us know, please, if the sound is okay. And if the audio is okay. There'd be a high likelihood that this video may cut out. And we are really striving to relinquish this whole part of our dissertation before we start every show. And we are networking with local internet and with some people to try to get us a better internet connection. But it's the whole island and not just us. All right?
Yeah.
All right. Hello and welcome back to we are going to talk about the following things today. And as usual, obviously, your topics, your comments, we will read. We're going to talk about the GOAT race, the greatest of all time race. Yes, we know right now Djokovic has that. He has 20 majors along with Nadal and Federer. And he owns them on head-to-heads. That makes him the GOAT, at least in our book. However, the U.S. Open is knocking on the door, and Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal surely would like to get that 21. So the GOAT race begins. Now, this is a really interesting time for a lot of reasons, because in what sports can you state that you were watching the greatest of all time happen at once instead of kind of comparing it to those in history? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are we good?
Yeah, I was just making sure. You know, my thing's behind. So,
all right. We as well are going to be talking about Andy Murray. Andy Murray has a direct entry into the U.S. Open, so we're going to be talking about that as well. Montreal, we're going to be talking about the women's game and so forth. So you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's lock in.
We're good. I just checked.
All right. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to do that, because if you are competing for the 300, only we need to qualify is buyers, then you'll need to do that to play that as well. Don't forget to watch the how-to on this playlist, and it's titled U.S. Open 20 Teams and Cash Prize Giveaway Competitions. At the beginning of that video, it's like a 40-minute video, but the instructions are at the beginning, okay?
Yeah, I think there's someone that asked you that. Parker Ying, he was already putting his picks in.
Yes, at the beginning of that video, the rules are there, okay? Every single rule from the instructions, it's very simple. I think on that video, we talked about, odd things for the, the latter part of the video. And any further questions that you have, again, $400 is a lot of money. I would want to make sure it's right. So feel free to ask any more questions, but don't ask questions like, what is fantasy team or how to play and where do I put my picks, because we talked about all of that on that video, everything. But if there's anything we missed, please let us know. All right. Couple of shout outs to start today's show. Number one, to my sister Amy, longtime tennis player, was a hell of a junior, started with breast cancer, and she has it now spread all over her body, lungs, her jaw, her brain. And she's still fighting. So shout out to my sister. Much love to you, as well to all the school kids, all the school children out there. I know here in the United States, where we live here in Dauphin Island, Alabama, that all those kids started school today. So it was nice to see our youngest of 5 children, that is Justin Jr., head off to kindergarten today.
Yay.
Let's go.
So John said, what is fantasy team? He's just playing.
All right. Also, a shout out to all the teachers out there. Without teachers, where would we be? Okay. I know even in the health care field these days, some physicians don't even want to sit down and get to know you. They just want you in and out. Teachers sit with our children day in and day out and create future doctors and lawyers and attorneys and engineers. So shout out to all the teachers out there. Without you, there is no us. And that's factual.
Yes.
Okay. You got any shout outs? I think Asti, you wanted to mention?
Yeah, Asti, we do teacher, Miss Weaver. She's the 4th and 5th grade teacher. She's doing 2 classes. One of the 5th grade teacher is out sick, so she's having to take both classes the first week of school. It's glitchy, they say. So I was gonna check and see if it's glitchy, if it's looking glitchy. No, it's fine so far.
Let us know if it's glitchy.
I can see it so far.
So if this video is glitchy, very sorry. I can stop this video right now and set it on my cell phone. And I can stop. We can cut it. If it's that bad, I'll start it over. Do I need to do that? Let me.
I could see it on my phone. Fine, right?
Yeah,
now.
let me know in comments. I can stop this video at any point in time before we get into the thick of it. Restart a part 2 and use my phone, and it won't cut out. So let me know if that's something we need to do. Okay. Shout out. You had a shout out for a teacher.
Asti, yes, I just said it for Miss Weaver. We teach her. Asti, she does tennis lessons with us. She's teaching 4th and 5th grade. It's very glitchy here. They said, don't worry, it's way better now. Don't stop. Okay. She's teaching both grades. The 5th grade teacher is sick, so she's having to do 2 grades for the first few weeks of school. So more power to her. I know she's going to be tired. We'll probably see her playing tennis, but I wish her good luck this year.
Excellent.
She had an awesome classroom.
Yeah,
the whole setup. It's good now, Jean says.
Yeah, and please let us know at any point in time if it's really bad, because we have some good material today, and I'd hate to lose it. That's why we kind of talk a little bit at the beginning, to make sure it's good before we roll. All right. What's up, Simone? Let us know again if it's glitchy. Okay. Number 1, we're going to start with this. Novak Djokovic is not playing a warm-up tournament on hard court prior to the U.S. Open. Now, I know this is the same for Djokovic, right? He's number 1 in the world. Here's a poll question before we get started on talking about it. Can you type the poll question?
Yes, I was checking to see if our connection.
The poll question is this. Was this a smart move by Novak Djokovic to not play a tune-up or warm-up tournament prior to the U.S. Open?
Is this a smart move? For who?
For Novak, by not playing a warm-up prior to the U.S. Open. Was it smart or not? Okay. I think it was brilliant. I think it's a given, right?
I think so too.
One of Novak Djokovic's quotes, and I'll quote it, "I need more time to recover from the taxing journey from Australia to Tokyo." All right. Traveling, number 1, is a real son of a gun, right? Traveling is a real grinding deal in of itself. Carl and I don't travel much. We have 5 kids. And when we do travel, not even very far, I'm talking about just a car ride to the next state for a tennis tournament and back, right? We come back more exhausted than we've ever been. Why? Because you wake up early, you drive, you transportate, you got to stay on top of things, you got to keep up with your stuff, and then you get to where you're going, and then the time changes, and there's time travel lag or jet lag, whatever you want to call it, and you come back and you readjust. So many things mentally occur when you're traveling.
Yeah.
Okay. How's our connection out there?
I'm looking at it through my phone. I can see it.
It's all right.
So far for me, it is. I don't know how for the rest of the gang.
So traveling, number 1, is draining in of itself. Okay. Much less the pressure that he's dealt with since before the Olympics about trying to attain the Golden Slam. Came up a little short, and he was tired there. So he took the time off. He's played a lot of matches. He doesn't need, I think, any tuning up. I think he just needs rest. So rest is what he is doing. And I think, therefore, it's a very smart decision.
I think it's smart for any of these guys not to play any warm-up tournaments. At this level, at this stage of their career, they're older. Their bodies take longer to recover. Novak's, I said from the beginning, I don't think he'll win the U.S. Open. I thought that if he kept playing all these tournaments, because I feel like the U.S. Open is where it's the last tournament. Everybody wants to give it the biggest, they want to try their hardest to win it. The underdog does well. So I think for him, smart not to play. He doesn't need to really play to warm up to the U.S. Open, He doesn't need these smaller tournaments. Let the younger guys do it. For Nadal, who's pulled out of many tournaments because of foot injury, I think it's a smart thing if he doesn't even touch one of the hardcore tournaments. For Federer, we know knee injury, right? Smart not to play any. Serena, same thing, pulled out. Smart for her not to play. I mean, they don't need, at this stage, they don't need those warm-up tournaments. The warm-up tournaments need them. It's different.
Well, yes and no. Djokovic is warmed up, in my opinion. He's played a lot of matches. He just came off the Olympics, right? Now, Rafael Nadal, we're going to talk about in a moment. We know that he's not playing. We know Federer hasn't. But let's finish fine-tuning the Djokovic aspect of this. For Djokovic, it was just a straight-up smart move. Needed the rest, hands down, bottom line, right?
I told him about the Jerry curls. I told him, I was like, why are we trying to go for this wet look? But
Thank you, Mike Walker. You know I love you, bro.
I don't get it. I like the long curls, but he's going for the Jerry curls. So hey.
Okay. Djokovic needs rest. That's what he's getting. Brilliant move. Okay. We'll stop that because we're going to morph this into three different players. Now, on the other hand, Rafael Nadal is dealing with a foot injury. He did, not too terribly well in Washington. Lost to, I forget who he lost to now. He lost to Lloyd Harris from South Africa.
Yes.
Rafael Nadal's been dealing with a foot injury, right? So Rafael Nadal didn't play a lot of tournaments this year that he normally plays, right? He's lost some ranking points. I think Rafael Nadal dropped down to, I think, number 4 in the world now. I think he dropped from like 2 to 4 or 3 to 4, something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't think he needs to worry about his ranking. He just needs to worry about being on the opposite side of Djokovic at the U.S. Open so he can make the final, number one. But one thing that concerned me about Rafael Nadal leading into the U.S. Open, remember, Carla has a bet with all of you that if Rafael Nadal does not win the U.S. Open, she is going to get a tattoo. She doesn't have tattoos, but she is going to tattoo that Ferrari. So nonetheless, this is a big tournament for me because I've always wanted to get, just some simple tattoo. I know a lot of you are like, why would you want to damage that? And I don't know. I just like them. But at one point in time, Rafael Nadal did not pick up her tennis racket for 20 days. 20 days. Okay. Now, why is that a big deal? If you're not a player, you may not resonate with that being such a big deal. Mm-hmm. Look, I've played the game on 40, soon to be 44. I started at 2. I've played for 42 years, almost, right? If I take 2 days off, I come back rusty. My timing's off. Sometimes I'm like, it's going to take me a while to get back into this. Just taking 2 days off. Now, can you imagine someone like Rafael Nadal or anybody that is a good player and they take 20 days off? Mm-hmm. It is very tough in the world of tennis to take 1, 2, 3, 4 days off, much less 20. Mm-hmm. And I think that basically tells you what happened in Washington, D.C. He was rusty. Lloyd Harris took advantage of that and got the biggest win of his young South African career, correct?
Yeah.
We get rusty. Carla, what are some ways that speaking about yourself, what are some ways you get rusty if you just take a week or so off? What happens to you mentally and physically?
Usually it takes longer for me. A week doesn't do much to me. I took 8 years off. 8 years off of tennis. Didn't touch a racket. First thing that I noticed was my footwork was gone. I never forgot my strokes. I hit the same way, but the footwork was gone. I always worked out and was in the best shape of my life when I came back to it. But the footwork is the first thing. And of course, the match play. If you don't have the match play, feeling the butterflies in your stomach, learning how to win again, I would say those are the two things. The strokes never go away. You don't forget how to hit a forehand. You don't forget how to hit a backhand. You don't forget to serve. You get that fine. It's the footwork that goes away first.
Yeah, and your timing. Mm-hmm. Michael Walker left a comment here. I saw
raining hard.
That thinking is everything, and thinking is everything.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, thinking, timing. All right. So the recent Olympics, we had Simone Biles have what they call the twisties. The twisties, right? You don't think as well, or your thinking is obscured by something or nothing at all. It's just empty thoughts. And we get something called the twisties in gymnastics. In tennis, we call it the yips. In golf, I've heard it called the yips. You get out there and you're hitting a ball, and for some reason and that you breathe every day is just off. When I played Ryan Mason that day, I had the yips. I could not literally hit the tennis ball correctly. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
So, and I was.
It happens. It happens. Yeah.
So getting back into the envelope and starting to push that envelope, it's a tough role. So with Nadal not playing, and where I'm going with this is Djokovic, no big deal, taking time off prior to the U.S. Open. No big deal. He's put the mileage in. He's played matches.
He's played a lot and won a lot.
Rafael Nadal, on the other hand, hasn't played nearly as much. So the same thing I think that happened to Rafael Nadal in Washington, D.C., will I think ultimately end up happening at the U.S. Open, and Carla will end up getting her first tattoo because Rafael Nadal will have lost prior to holding the trophy at the U.S. Open.
I don't know. Could be a good thing for him. He does. Wildlife sent me a picture of Rafa. He said, "Doesn't he look old now?" And I said, "Yeah, he does." I think when you take off your we're fine. You see how I'm talking and it's still going?
I think we're doing really well at this point.
Look,
So
I'm watching you as you talk.
all right, so we're clear.
Yeah.
Just know if it gets to be really bad, let us know and I'll start a part 2. Okay. In my humble opinion, tennis is the toughest sport on the planet for reasons like this. Tennis, baseball, basketball, football are all sports that I have played throughout my life. And tennis is the one that if I take time off, it's very tough to get back into the groove and play in a high level really quickly after your time off, right? So here's a poll question as well, okay? Here's a poll question as well.
Hold on, I have to end this one before we can go to the next one. So 93% said yes.
Yeah, last poll question was it smart for Novak Djokovic to take time off before the U.S. Open? A whopping percentage, 93% agreed that it was, okay? The next poll question. Is tennis the toughest sport to take time off of and return to? Okay. I don't play any other sports at a very high level and haven't in years prior, except the ones aforementioned. And I can assure you, grab a basketball and I can go out and I can play decent basketball. I can go out and throw a football decently. I can go out and swing the bat
That's
decently.
because you don't play professionally. But I think any sport, I disagree with you. I think any sport is tough. It's tough to come back to. If you're playing professional, of course, any sport is. I don't think just tennis.
All right.
Simone says off the topic, did you guys watch documentary about
Lance?
I've seen the whole thing.
We've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yes.
Okay. Now we were talking about Novak Djokovic. Was it smart for him to take time off? Right. Now let me rephrase this question for someone else. Was it smart for Rafael Nadal to take time off? Okay. I think it earns a different response. Well, yes, he has a foot nagging injury. Okay, so you need time off for that.
You do need time for that, yes.
But the rust factor is still there. He didn't go deep in DC. He lost, second round to Lloyd Harris, probably had a bye in the first, so lost his first match.
No, he barely won his first one. You forget he played Jack Saw?
Oh, that's right. That's a joke. Jack Saw, come on.
I don't think it affects him taking off time off. Not when a tournament's a few weeks away. No, it'd be different if it was months. I don't think weeks, but if you have a nagging injury, you have to take time off. I don't think it's going to affect him. I think it's better that he doesn't play any hardcore tournaments. Don't let your opponents feel what they're going to feel when they go to the U.S. Open. I think it's better that he goes in there fresh, especially his body, his big build. He needs to take the time off.
Strategically, I agree. Strategically, I agree. I guess number one, I agree with Nadal taking time off because of his injury. You have to let it mend. But at the same time, Rafael Nadal is a grinding defensive player. He needs to stay match ready. And when you take 20 days time off for an injury, you're going to want to fly your athlete back across the Atlantic Ocean, jet lag, travel, blah, 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 then back to the U.S. to play. So I'm sure Nadal has shop set up here somewhere in the U.S. right now and is getting acclimated to the time, getting acclimated to his surroundings. I'm sure Nadal is already here and staying here.
Yes, I wouldn't travel back to Spain.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. So what
it says restart stream.
Restart it?
Well, I'm looking at it. It's fine so far. It's fine so far.
All right, let us know. I always hate that, man. That's the reason why.
So far, I'm watching you as you just move because it's only a few seconds behind.
All right. Let us know. Again, if it glitches, let us know. That's one of the
What's up, this guy?
It's one of the good things about here. We always say we're just family, right? 5K tennis family. We're not trying to garnish a million views and get a bunch of people here. It's just like chilling with our family. The kids are at school or we got some peace and quiet. So let us know if we should restart it. A couple of guys.
Looks fine, said this guy.
Oh, thank you.
I'm looking at it on my phone just to make sure. What's up, Jose P?
What's up, Jose P? No, my question for this one, was it smart for Nadal to take time off? I think so. I think it's a 50-50 question. I think it's smart to mend the injury, but not smart in terms of will he be match ready? Okay, just wanted to mention that. Now, by the way, here's a question for all of you. Which tournament not terribly long ago in the recent past did Rafael Nadal win prior to taking a lot of time? He had a press conference and one of the people in the press room asked him, was it a gamble for you to take time off? Like, yes, it was a gamble. If I would have lost the tournament, then I would have looked bad. My camp would have looked bad, but it worked out, and therefore we looked good. But is this one of those type of gambling type situations for Nadal where he may be great for taking time off if he wins the tournament, but if he doesn't, he looks bad?
Yeah.
So they're saying restart.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Because look, I'm looking at it here, so I could see the little glitch, but so far it's still fine.
Should I restart?
I don't know, and I think it has to do with weather as well.
Yeah, another time. Should I restart this and continue from here on? Let me know in comments.
Good. I don't know. So it depends where you're at, I guess.
Yeah, if someone gives me another indication that we need to restart, I'll restart it. Okay, it's no problem. All right. Good.
Keep going.
All right, she's on. Look, I'll put my finger up, see if I can see it. Finger? How far behind is it?
Some little delays, but so far good.
Okay, good. Lori, keep us informed on that. Thank you. That helped out a lot. Lori, have you been able to discern the entire video up until this point? Like, are we missing certain thoughts because of glitches? Let us know. That was helpful. And again, this is family here, man. It's like, we're family. Who cares, right? But let us know. Lori, let us know. She's right at the street. Let's go. All right. Which tournament was it that Rafael Nadal won or after pulling out a lot of action prior to? It was recently. It was this year. Was it like Madrid and he didn't play anything?
Well, he played Roland Garros not this year, but the year before that he did that. He decided not to play the U.S. Open, and then he won the French Open. So it was good for him.
I forget, but there was
whereas Novak played the U.S. Open, got kicked out, went to the French, got bageled in the last, but he got his revenge. So
yeah, there was
it could be a good or bad thing.
There was a tournament Nadal played within the past 12 months, and he won it. And after the tournament, he directly answered questions about not playing anything before that, and it was a gamble, and he would have looked bad if he didn't win, so forth. I forget which one it was, okay? So the consensus is, I think, 50-50 on Nadal not playing.
50-50. For Djokovic, obviously, that's the smartest thing because he's played a lot of tennis. He's won 3 slams. He just went to Japan. He had a mental crash. I think it was more mental than anything. And now, he's ready for the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
So.
All right, moving on to Roger, the Fed Express. Let's move on to Federer. Okay, so you know where I'm going to go with this. Again, don't call me not a fan. I am, but I'm just a realist. Federer, Roger Federer, no warm-up. Nothing prior to the U.S. Open. Is this smart for Roger or not smart for Roger?
I don't think it matters for Roger.
I think it was stupid.
I don't think it matters for Roger. He took himself out of the French Open. He pulled out not to play Berrettini, and still didn't do well at Wimbledon.
Yeah, but by the way, Mike Walker, I saw that. I was thinking, and I told Carla before, we were just coming here, and I asked Carla, which tournament was it that Nadal didn't, that he won and he didn't play before, and he had won it a bunch of times? I think it could have been Barcelona.
But not this year. He won French Open last year. It would be last year, because this year, Novak won.
Either way, it wasn't the French. Yes, it wasn't the French. Yes, I think it could have been Barcelona.
Roger is injured, so he ain't ready to play. Oh, yeah, well said. I don't think it matters or not. I wouldn't be shocked if he says, I'm not playing the U.S. Open.
That's where I was going with it. If Roger Federer isn't healthy enough after almost playing 0 this entire year, if he's not healthy enough to at least try to get his timing and tune himself up, then, again, he should just adios. He should just go to his Laver Cup. Thank you, everybody. This is an event I created, the Laver Cup, and this will carry on my legacy moving forward.
I don't think he wants to do that.
Well, that's an ego. That's an ego problem.
Yeah.
So there's an ego there, and it's fighting the alter ego, and they're both still in this situation. There's no shot, healthy or not, that Federer wins the U.S. Open, in my opinion. Best 3 out of 5 with all these young men on the court, and Federer's losing right now to people that he used to destroy, right?
This guy said retirement bells are ringing loudly.
Yeah, ding, 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 ding. I'm sure his Laver Cup, I'm sure that will be, and I don't know, I'm just guessing, but I'm sure the Laver Cup will be his final hurrah, right?
Jack Nolte, I think for Serena, it's actually I don't think she needs to play. She needs to do the same thing as the other guys are doing. It's the same with Serena. He says if she's not ready fully, no point when she's like Nadal, not fully fit. I think for her, she doesn't need to play many tournaments. At her age, 39, tough on the body, tough on the knees, tough on the arms.
We run into the same scenario, though, that there is a mental and timing and match ready aspect besides the physical aspect. The rust becomes a problem if you take time off. And I'm sorry, these other young players or younger players are not doing that. They are killing it. They are working. They are grinding. It's really, really, really difficult to jump out on a court with no practice matches. Look, we assist a high school team coaching. Some of them take lessons, some of them they don't. But we always try to make a point. Once we start getting the ones that rarely take lessons, just here and there, or maybe never, once they learn the fundamentals, we immediately really try to get them in some type of point play, point construction. So A, they can get a feel for it, but B, so they know how a good tennis player looks and performs coming at you. So
I disagree with Justin. I think when you've been playing tennis, when you're learning how to play the game, or you are new, or you're a new rookie, just started the pro tour, you need to play a lot of matches. You need to get those nerves out. But I think when you've won a lot of slams, your body's tired, you put it through a lot of wear and tear. I think you need to be selective and just play the Grand Slams. Maybe play one tournament before the Grand Slam. Get those practice matches. That's why you're Serena. That's why you're Djokovic. That's why you're Nadal. That's why you're Federer. You can call in people to come to you. Pay them to come to you to get those practice matches. I wouldn't expose my game at that age. Yes, it's important for the younger ones to keep playing. But, how many forehands can you hit? How many backhands can you hit? How many serves can you hit being a veteran? It's not going to help you. I think where you need to be is in the gym, maybe doing a lot of cardio, doing weights or fast running and stuff like that. That's what's going to help you on the tennis court. I don't think hitting a ball is going to help you.
Well, again, yes and no. Mm-hmm. I understand that as an elite player, or any player for that matter, you don't need to go out and, hit, a whole bunch of forehands and a whole bunch of backhands and half volleys and that one position every single day. Mm-hmm. But the big issue with match readiness is Rafael Nadal has said this himself. There is never one shot you will take in the game of tennis that's ever identical to one you've taken before. The humidity may be different. The air temperature may be different. You may be at a different elevation. You may feel one way. In other words, the beauty of tennis is that every situation, every ball strike is unique.
Sure.
Because of that, our timing must be on point. I don't care how good you are, how bad you are, but in this sport, if you take time off and you come back on, I don't care how great you are, doesn't matter. The psychology, the cognitive processes, everything that goes down on the court will be a little bit behind. Now, some people are slow starters. Some people may take a while to get their shoes under their feet. Some people may be quick starters and shake it right off. But there will be a point in time, taking time off, that you will face some negative impacts because of it.
You don't think that they hit balls behind hidden doors? Like, we don't know?
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have to go to the tournament and travel here and travel there and travel there and then take another plane and then take off your shoes, pack again, deal with COVID. Right now, it's tough to travel. It's not easy to travel. Why go all the way to Canada? Then you got to go to Cincinnati. Why?
Yeah, and I have heard things, and you guys can chime in on this, but I have heard things that the airline industry right now is in such disarray that I think there was one airline that doesn't even have enough employees showing up to work. I know that just simple flights from, like say Atlanta to like Dallas, hub to hub, are severely backed up because of employment. It's odd to me that the whole world says they need a job, but yet at the jobs, there's nobody working. But anyway, look, we had our son Jonathan just come and go from Colorado.
Showed up at three flights.
It was a shit sandwich.
Three flights to get home, almost 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you're like, what the hell? But anyway, it's
yeah. Michael Walker, I'm going to his comment. Why is everyone trying to retire at greats? I don't know why they are. It's again, they don't. I disagree with Michael Gimmon. I don't see Rafa retiring anytime soon, really. I know you play with your dolls and everything, but I don't think that he's retiring anytime soon. Just saying.
Look, I got my Transformers over here on the desk.
Do you play with them?
I do. Look, hey, I have in the living room, which is right in there.
You don't play with them.
I have them sitting out.
I do, but you don't play with your dolls like he does. I'm just
have my Transformers and my G.I. Joes.
We don't know what these guys are doing. They're so rich that they can just call in anybody. Hey, I want to practice with a lefty. I want to practice with a righty. Oh, you hit flat. Let me have you practice. You hit a lot of topspin. All right, cool. Let me have 2 of you practice.
Okay, but the people that you're talking about that someone can call up and be like, hey, come hit with Nadal. The problem is that if you are the person taking that type of phone call, you're not as good as the people on the tour.
How do you know?
Because otherwise you wouldn't be taking that phone call.
How do you know they're not calling someone in the tour to inviting them to come hit with them?
Because then they're going to get tired.
Oh my God. Love Carla. She knows.
That's all I'm saying.
And then Simone Fognini, all these players that are losing, again, you can't go by these losses. I saw Sinner loss, right? I saw, I think Felix lost. And then Fognini's up on Rublev. These tournaments are warm up. Who cares?
The ones that can afford to not care don't care, and the ones that can't afford to care. Does that make any sense?
Well,
whatsoever?
yeah.
That means money. We're talking about
Gene
money.
was telling, Serena pulled out, leg injury, recovering. Venus did not disclose why she pulled out. Kenin, foot injury. Djokovic, resting. Federer, knee. Nadal, foot. Raonic, he's just too big.
Pillsbury Doughboy. Raonic, a.k.a. Pillsbury.
He's just too big.
Donut tire, Michelin man, fat boy.
He's just too big.
All right.
And Wawrinka pulls out of the U.S. Open.
Now, that's a good thing. Okay, so well, not a good thing, but Wawrinka pulled out, which gave Stanislas Wawrinka a direct entry into the tournament without having to use a wild card. That's good news, I think, for the rest of the world in terms of pro or players or challengers trying to get into a major because Murray doesn't take a wild card. Does anyone care, by the way? Can you put a poll question out there?
I have to end this one first.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Does anyone care that Murray is in the U.S. Open?
No, that's a rude question.
Well, it's a reality question. Do you care? Are you going to race home to watch Andy Murray play? I'm not dissing on Andy Murray at all. I mean, geez, he's won multiple majors. What, 3? He's won what, 2 Wimbledon and 3 majors. He's earned it. But for me, Andy Murray is the most boring tennis player I've ever seen play.
He will kick your ass though at a bar.
Well, he's a scrappy dude. I'm not dissing him, but he's very boring. He reminds me of no disrespect to soccer fans.
Murray's more finished than Federer. Yeah,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's not it's not even Murray. It's like I haven't even bought into his empathy story. Like these tournaments are giving him these easy entries, so they can sell tickets, right? More fans.
If they give it to Venus, they should give it to Andy Murray.
More TV time. The reason why Murray is getting these privileges is because, he was once one of the big 4. We used to say big 4, don't forget, when it could have been big 6 if you add in Wawrinka and Del Potro.
Del Potro just won 1. He can't be the big 6.
All I'm saying is that Murray once made the big 3, big 4, which Carl and I always laughed about. This dude's always crying and
actually
freaking out all over the place.
His injury, I felt so bad for him. And so I did, for me, yes, I feel bad for Murray because I feel like he should have had a much better career. He could have won more slams,
Yeah.
He had many chances. And for me, I think he deserves the wild cards. They should keep giving it to him.
Well, he didn't get a wild card. He got a direct entry.
Oh, good for him.
That's even better.
Even better. Venus gets it. Who's washed up, he should get it.
Who wins in a tennis match against one another? Does Andy Murray beat Venus Williams or does Venus Williams beat Andy Murray?
Look, Andy Murray could have another hip surgery. He would still beat
You
Venus.
think so?
Yes.
I don't know. He's kind of limited out there.
Big 3 and 1 crybaby.
All right.
Do you have a doll for him, Michael?
So, all right. Stan the man Wawrinka.
You have Andy Murray's hair.
Man, he's okay. I guess maybe. All right. My curls are tight. His are like kind of crunchy.
He doesn't put anything in it. That's why.
Okay. Wawrinka out, Murray in. Who honestly, if healthy, had the better chance between Wawrinka and Murray? If you had to choose, if they were both in the tournament, who goes further?
I go Wawrinka.
Me too. I go Wawrinka as well. He just has more gusto and not that hip, right?
He's like a man's man.
Okay. Number 1, is anybody interested that Andy Murray is in the main draw? A. Question B.
75% have said no. So
good.
Far.
Question B is, and you don't have to pull this, but how well can we expect Andy Murray to do?
I think 1 round.
One round, maybe.
And done.
And if he loses in the first round, you won't be shocked?
No.
Okay.
Depends who he gets.
Part C of this equation is, can Andy Murray ever return to playing at the level he did before?
Not with that sort of injury. No.
And by the way, even though I know he won multiple majors, I never thought he played at an extremely high level before anyway. Just saying. Andy Murray won matches when the rest of the guys were having a bad day. And he was at all the tournaments. So anyone that had a bad day, he would win that. So he was like, the third wheel or the fourth wheel or whatever. Okay. Here's an honest question. Carl, I need you to answer this question honestly. Mm-hmm. Are you ready?
Yeah, I was just reading something that Rafa is back in Europe. He's probably visiting his doctors now.
Good for him. That's going to make...
So he went back to Europe. That's what Gene just sent me.
Okay, that's great knowledge. That would even hamper his U.S. Open even worse because now he's traveling. You can't practice when you're traveling. Your muscles can't get work and really good nutrition necessarily when you're traveling and elevation. And, man, traveling is a son of a gun. Traveling's tough on the body and the mind and everything. Here's an honest question. Can you answer it? Honestly, look me in the eye. Have you ever cared or liked Andy Murray in terms of, you don't know him off the court, obviously. Never been around him, never met him.
As a player, no.
Have you ever cared for Andy Murray as a player?
No.
Or as a fan when you watch him in terms of, a lot of us fans like to watch players pre-match, post-match interviews.
I hate watching.
So you've never enjoyed Andy Murray's pre-match, his match, or his post-match?
No.
You always thought it sucked bad?
No.
Okay. My dad, 82 years young, who's a long-time tennis coach and very humble.
Murray, but I never liked him. So as a player.
Okay. Next question. Which player, warm-up prior to the U.S. Open, has A, Roger Federer risked the most, has B, Novak Djokovic risked the most, or C, has Rafael Nadal risked the most?
Well, I think Federer.
I think it's Federer,
obviously, followed by Nadal.
Yeah, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. I had it in that order as well.
Yeah. I was happy when Andy Murray beat Federer for Wimbledon because I didn't like Federer, so I was fine with that. But I've never enjoyed watching his game. It's just never been a pleasing game. I found it to be so grueling when I thought he could have had a lot more tools, finish points a lot quicker. I felt like his tennis was too grueling for his type of body, against the other three. When it was Rafa, Federer, and Nadal, I felt like he should have ended the points quicker. I felt like the points just dragged on, and that affected his body, obviously.
Are there any soccer fans out there, or that's what sometimes there's a dichotomy in between saying soccer and football, depending on where you live. But we're talking about players retiring and getting older, right? Has anyone heard about Lionel Messi, who is one of the greatest soccer players of all time, leave Barcelona and now wind up on a Paris club in Paris to play? Mm-hmm. I only bring this up because Lionel Messi is about the same age as Rafael Nadal, about the same age as Novak Djokovic. And this young man or man has made news once again in that he has left a franchise that he played his career with to a team in Paris, and now he teams up with big names like Neymar, right? Another one of the best soccer players in the world. So I have a couple of questions about this, and I don't know the answer to them, but I'm interested. So try to spoil me on this one. This 34-year-old player, Lionel Messi, I don't know anything about. I just know he's one of the GOATs. Went to Paris after leaving Barcelona and is now getting 41 million. That's 41. I'm getting better. That's $41 million a year. That is $1 million a week, basically. Okay. So this gentleman is 34 years old, jumps to another team, and is making $82 million over 2 years with an option for a third. But yet we are writing off Nadal in a way, and Federer and all these guys. Federer's older. So can I ask you guys a question? Is soccer one of those sports where you can play really late in life and still be just dominating?
I don't think so. Very few players can.
Then why would Paris give someone that, again, I know nothing about, but why would this club in Paris give $41 million a year for an aging athlete? I don't understand it.
Why would you have to ask yourself the same thing about basketball with some players?
Who's that? LeBron? Okay, one. So you're telling me Messi is the LeBron of basketball?
No, he's better.
I don't know anything about it.
He's better. I mean, my dad, I remember showing me his videos. He's awesome. Little guy, but he's awesome.
Well, I guess why I ask is here in the United States, you can't give away a ticket to a soccer or a European football game.
There's your answer, because he's still an elite player, because Messi still has quality. 38 goals last season, top player. He's a beast.
Man, but $41 million a year to kick a ball in a goal? I don't understand it at his age. Now, I sent you a message earlier. Can you show me that picture message I sent you?
Mm-hmm.
I came across an article that involved this team where Messi went. Okay, I think it's Paris Saint-Germain or something. And it showed me, and I'll show you, it showed me the weekly, that's 7 days, seven days, not months, not years, 7 days, the weekly pay schedule of everyone on this team. I'm going to see if they can see it first.
There's no way they can see it.
I will get, but they get what I'm seeing, right? This is the pay scale, the pay schedule per week to everyone on that team, okay? Lionel Messi, weekly wage, 1 million euros. Neymar, weekly wage, 490,000 euros. Kylian Mbappe, 310,000 euros a week. Marquinhos, 250,000 euros a week. Marco Verratti, $250,000 a week. Angel Di Maria, $235,000 a week. Keylor Navas, $210,000 a week. And the list goes on. These guys are making crazy, insane money a week.
It's soccer.
But
football. It's football.
But look, here in the United States, they have Major League Soccer, right? Dude, you could have someone come up to you and say, I got 5 tickets to the Major League Soccer Super Bowl.
That's because American football
and no one,
popular.
They'd be like, you can have that. I don't even want to see that. They wouldn't even take your ticket. You can't even give away a ticket to a soccer match here in the U.S. No one cares about it.
It's the World Cup in the USA.
And even they don't care about that.
No, they do. I remember my dad.
But your dad's Spanish.
Yeah.
Look, I have a lot of friends. I could go up to, and they're all athletes, and I could ask one of them, can you tell me a professional soccer player? They'd probably say maybe Messi, maybe Neymar, but after that, they're clueless. No idea. They're like, what?
So Chuku said it's business, Justin. They sold out his shirt within minutes. They would make money from having Messi both on and off the field.
Damn. $41 million a year, $1 million a week. That's insane.
It's like some of these quarterbacks, when they offer them money, or these running backs, you're like, huh, what?
They're not making $41 million a year. That's a fact.
Well,
maybe 10.
Because it's just the USA. This is like worldwide. You forget that football is popular Europe and Latin countries.
But there's so much turmoil all over the world, and there's a lot of infrastructure issues everywhere. But my mindset is, man, if you're paying this one dude $41 million, $1 million a week, and you got all these infrastructure issues and stuff that needs to be fixed, and you're paying that dude,
it just shows you how the
world,
he
can't be $41 million good.
How the world thinks. You have people that go buy themselves expensive purses or expensive cars, yet there's people, it just shows you how the world thinks. It's
$1 million a week. I don't care who you are. No one deserves that type of money. Nobody. I don't care who you are. You can't spend it. You can't do anything with it. Give it to the children. Give it to the schools. Build infrastructure.
MC spend his money like that. Yeah, you can spend it really stupidly.
$1 million a week. Man, that's ridiculous. The world is hurting.
Jack Nolte said, I know it's not right. I am a fan, yet it's greed, but that's the world. Yeah,
it's awful. It's awful. Is
Brady the highest paid quarterback? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think the highest paid quarterback is like
he probably was at one point.
I think it could be Aaron Rodgers with his contract extension, at least for this year in Green Bay. It may be someone like homeboy that just went to San Diego, Matt Stafford. It could be someone like that. Anyway, I know Deshaun Watson's holding out for a contract with the Texans. He probably won't play with him again. I'm a Jimmy G, my boy in San Francisco. By the way, I'm a huge football fan, American football. If I'm not watching,
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott has no shot at winning a Super Bowl with Dallas or with anybody else. He has shoulder issues. He's still injured. He's done. Look,
Nolte said, sure, Ronaldo get as much in sponsorship, and Conor McGregor $200 for $1 million.
And he's an idiot
for one fight against Mayweather before.
Yeah, Conor McGregor's a dipshit. He's an idiot.
Michael Walker says, tell Justin, over the last 10 years, Messi was in the top 4 of all athletes in the world. So Messi earned
Well, I get it, but I guess what I'm getting at is not.
You think it's ridiculous?
I'm not picking on Messi.
I know what you're saying. That it's ridiculous. Yeah, I get your point.
That's not. Look,
what
man.
He's saying
I got school teachers that can't even get by. I got school teachers that teach people like Messi how to count 1, 2, 3, and they can't even pay. They can't even pay their bills, man.
Look,
you're gonna pay this little fucker $41 million a year.
No, but
it's not about him. It's about the whole deal.
I agree. It's the whole world.
$100 million for Conor McGregor.
It's not just him. It's what we put as
I'll be right back.
What we prioritize in the world. It's crazy. It's wrong that we can pay athletes that much money instead of people who are teaching our kids and doctors and stuff like that. Because even doctors struggle to get there. Doctors have to pay their student loans, before they can get there. Their insurance is high, yet we are paying athletes this much money, which doesn't seem right. And then they go spend it in 1 billion cars, 1 billion houses, an island over here, vacation over here, girls over here, men over here, clothes, bags, jewelry, which means nothing at the end of the day. We die and we can't take that stuff with us anyways. Chuku says the viewership rate would go up, plus PSG desperately wants to win championship leagues with Messi. Their chances goes up. This guy says no one will pay to watch doctors doing surgery every week. That's my point.
I would. I think that's
you would, but not the world.
I think that's the shallowness of people in terms of learning. One of the biggest mistakes in my life. You know what one of the biggest mistakes in my life is? Has nothing to do with prison. You know what the biggest mistake of my life was?
Yes, you don't have to
we have 5 children. I got my second oldest son, who's 17 now, a cell phone after he won a tournament about a year ago. Mm-hmm. That was the biggest mistake I think I've made in my entire life. Why? Let me explain. I'm not picking on him, but when you give kids these things, they get locked into it. And it's instant gratification. And when you take these things away and say, go do something, they get mad at you. And otherwise, they wouldn't have been mad at you if you wouldn't have given them the thing in the first place.
He looks crazy with these Jerry curls. When you get mad, it makes you look
I'm not mad.
I'm just looking at the screen. Your hair jumps up.
Okay, so the moral of the story, forget about my rant I was fixing to go on. But the world is in a really, really tough spot. And it's tougher to get by these days than it has ever been before. Okay. And we got people, and it's not just about Messi. It has nothing to do with him. There's hoodlums in this world that are making sick, crazy money. And all they do, like Carla said, is they go out and buy a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, a Bugatti. They take a picture next to it. They buy 5 houses all over the world. And then they die, pass away, whatever. And, they go to estate sales and other people get rich off of them. While meanwhile, the poor people are freaking struggling worse than ever. I don't care to read articles about a soccer player making $1 million a week. Don't care for it. And I'm not hating on the guy, but it makes me want to throw up a finger and be like, screw you, man. It's not out of jealousy. It's at the fact that this should be something that us as people should try to get a grip on. Okay, it's greed. It's greedy. It's nastiness.
I agree, Michael Walker, with your comment. It's like comparing Serena, Osaka, Federer, Novak, Nadal to other tennis players. Life isn't fair.
Whatever.
He worked hard for it.
But
yes,
okay,
but I get what you're saying.
No interest.
He worked hard for it, so he deserves the money. That much money? No, I think there should be a limit of how much money you give an athlete.
Could be something.
I think that's 41 million is ridiculous.
41 million.
That's a ridiculous amount. Okay, I think I like better the 10 or 41. That's
even 10 is like for someone kicking a ball or hitting a ball or throwing a ball.
Do you know how hard it is to play soccer?
I understand that, but do you know how hard it is to do cardiothoracic surgery or to do a heart transplant? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you know how hard? Okay, let's use Lori. Lori is a young lady. She may be watching, maybe not. But she just taught our children how to swim. Mm-hmm. That's way more impressive to me than someone kicking a damn soccer ball. They should make Lori jerseys and sell those. All I'm saying is no one gives a shit to talk about.
Simone, you're right. Nobody deserves that much money.
They don't.
Especially not an athlete. It's
There's
ridiculous.
no human being deserves that amount of money.
No, it's
no
crazy.
Human being.
It's crazy. Maybe communist works. Communist.
I mean, it's I don't think she really knows the depth of the definition
I know that. I
of
know that. I lived in a country where it was socialist.
She spoke too freely.
Yes, I know. Well, hey, Carteri, where are you, boy? He's all for it. Oh my God.
Okay, can I?
She says sweet.
So can I ask all you guys a question? We are a tennis family. Everyone, you, us, we're all in this together. Okay. If you get a little burned out on tennis, if you get tired of watching Tommy Paul play Yannick Sinner or Mackenzie McDonald rather, and you have to watch something else, what do you turn the channel to, or what do you buy tickets to? Where do you go? Right? If it's not tennis, what do you do? For me,
sport.
I'll tell. Well, not necessarily a sport, hobby, whatever. So Carlo, what Carlo and I are always together. So what do we do if it's not tennis? We watch a movie, maybe.
You watch a movie?
Well, I can't sit down long enough.
That's funny.
Bicycling, we cycle. When we had our canoe, we rode. We would like to get another canoe. We're working on that. I love football, American football. I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. Let's go. I was born in San Francisco.
I watch junk TV. That's what I do.
Yeah, she's a reality show
I like
person.
reality stuff, yeah.
Our oldest son, Jonathan's at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, which makes us a Air Force Academy Falcons fan for football college. But we are Alabama Crimson Tide fans.
No, I'm not.
Well, I am. What are you?
I am not.
So you don't. So you don't have a college team.
No college team. I root for the underdog, and that's who I root for. I don't root for anybody but the underdog. And now it's different regular football, but
she's a New York Giants and a Green Bay Packers fan, but more like
a Tom Brady fan.
Yeah, or you like Aaron Rodgers because he's a kind of a fairy. Okay,
he's a fairy.
My other pastime I love a lot, and I grew up doing this: fishing and surfing, snowboarding too, but there's no snow in Alabama. But fishing and surfing. Okay. Next topic, the GOAT, the greatest of all time battle is raging. Okay. We know right now the greatest of all time is Djokovic. 20 majors, tied with Nadal and Federer, but he owns them head to head. Okay. He has a winning record against both of them that makes him the greatest. Okay. All three of these players, Nadal, Djokovic, Federer, are heading into the U.S. Open without warming up, at least on the surface. So they're going in on cold hard court feet. Okay. With these three guys that are left, do one of these three win the U.S. Open? Okay. Or does a new era of tennis, after 10 years of dealing with next gen cheesiness, do they finally start winning every major from this point forward? So does the rest of the field start winning every major from this point forward? Or is one of them at this tournament, U.S. Open, going to get 21 and once again etch themselves as the greatest of all time? Now, if Nadal and Federer, one of those two, won this tournament, they would edge to 21, leaving Djokovic behind. And if Djokovic won the U.S. Open, he would really put the damn nail in the coffin then, not only be winning by major count, but as well head-to-head. And Weeks is number one and everything else. Holy cow. But I think that Federer and Nadal throw their entire life into the U.S. Open.
Of course they will.
I don't think that they can afford not to.
Of course they will. Yeah.
Trench warfare
It'll be tough.
This U.S. Open.
I think this U.S. Open will be tough. I don't see Federer putting his whole life into it. He probably can't. I picked Nadal, obviously, but what my heart is telling me that we'll have a new champ.
New champ this year?
Yeah. I picked Nadal because I'm a fan. But realistically, I think we'll have someone new hold the cup.
Have you selected the tattoo you're going to get if you have not?
No, I haven't even thought about it.
Do you know where you're going to put it?
Definitely nowhere that.
How about on your forehead?
Hell no.
Just kidding. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Does one of the big three, what's remaining thereof, does one of the big three win the U.S. Open? Or is it now a paradigm shift? Paradigm. I don't know why they stuck the G in that word, but nonetheless, it's a paradigm. Is it a paradigm change as the U.S. Open begins? Or is it just another zzz? Do you guys think?
Simone says, I think someone new will win the U.S. Open, but then now they will not win every single of them. Djokovic or Rafa will win a couple of them. Michael Walker, I like your comment. You know, you were stating some of your friends got MBAs and they're making about $1 million. There's one thing.
A week?
No, $1 million a year.
That's a big difference. This homeboy's making $1 million a week.
There, one thing I know about money, having a lot of money and that much money that's offered to them, the happiest people are usually the ones without the money. I know Justin goes on this whole thing, but living life, I think, a little simple and actually having a good family and, well-rounded, being healthy, not having those issues of people liking you because of the money. Those guys that have all the money, they got a lot of fake people around them, And I think one guy, the recruiter that came over here, said it well, you don't have a lot of money, but your life is good,
Do you guys understand the best thing about not being very well off? Let me tell you, maybe you can resonate with this. Because when shit happens around here, we've been through worse. Do you understand what I'm saying? The reason why I think Carla and I have such a positive outlook is really bad stuff can happen. The car can break down, the house can get destroyed by a hurricane, you name it. I can blow out my patellar tendon, I can whatever. But you look at things, she's been in third world countries and it has been through all her personal things. I've been to prison and beyond. We've always been through things that have been worse than no matter what we think now. So when someone's gossiping, sometimes we have tennis students. I don't mean to mention any names and I won't, but sometimes, there's a tennis student. Hey, have you heard what's going around about so-and-so? We're like, no, we don't care. I don't really give a shit.
I'd love to hear
it can't be down worse. It can't be worse than whatever.
I'd love to hear it because it's like Real Housewives.
Yeah. People say, oh, did you? And some people get worked up about this type of thing. And I'm like, oh, geez, here we go. Let me go sweep the court over here.
That's him, not me.
But anyways,
everyone, no way. There we go. Okay.
Be kind because everyone you meet is fighting a tough battle. One of my favorite quotes: "Be kind because everyone you meet is fighting a tough battle," and it's very true. But some people, I think, have fought more tough battles than others, and not saying one is better than the other. But I think that when you don't have a lot and you're lucky to be where you are, and you have been through hell and back, then I think when things come across your path, it's kind of laughable. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sue says there's an idea some economists are pushing called universal basic income, because basically the thing is distribute better than the whole resources.
That's kind of a cool concept. There's an idea, Jesus Cruz Caba, there's an idea some economists are pushing called universal basic income, because basically the thing is to distribute better than the whole resources. So it's kind of like communist 2.0 with a bonus check. It's like communism with a bonus.
I don't know about that.
So we'll hoard you into sections and we'll pay you each accordingly instead of not paying you at all or shooting you or burning you alive. All right, let's go. Communism 2.0. Not really. Totally a joke. We are a military family here and are very glad to be in the USA.
That's who said, haha, sort of.
It's what it sounds like. So we're gonna,
I don't know about that.
We're gonna put you in a class system.
I don't know that I would be happy with that.
Yeah, we're gonna put you in a class system, and we're gonna pay you though this time. Mm-hmm. We're not just gonna put you to clean toilets and you to build robots, and then you to maybe be a doctor, and then you to be a president. We're just gonna pay you a little bit to do the following.
You'll be a model. You'll be Chuku says, I need Nadal to be fit because with him, Novak stands a better chance of winning. Because Nadal can take out some of the new gen, and I would pick Nadal over a big hitter. New gen against Novak.
There you go.
So you're using Nadal.
Okay, historical question. I know Michael Walker will know this one. Is Michael Walker out there? Give me a thumbs up. Michael Walker's probably the only one in this group that will know this. But I know Michael Walker will know who the Three Musketeers are or the Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen being the French players, Lacoste. Oh, man, I got Lacoste in there. I forget who the rest of the Four Horsemen are. Okay. The big three, Djokovic, Nadal, Federer versus a quartet such as the Four Horsemen. Looking back from history and looking back, who are your favorites? Would you rather see Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer play, or would you rather go watch some vintage tennis? A lot of people may not even study the game from a vintage standpoint, but I encourage everyone out there to do so. You will see that the game in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, 1950s really is very much the same. The rackets are changed, sure. The white trousers, the white sweaters, the attire on the court, the women in long dresses and their wide brim bonnets.
I can't imagine playing tennis in a long dress, long shirts,
elegant long sleeves.
I would die.
So if you go back and look at some of the women and men tennis players from the turn of the century, 1900s, you will see long white trousers, long sweaters, collared shirts. And if you put all of that aside and put the kind of pixelated black and white pictures aside and look at their overall footwork, look at their overall racket, look at the point of impact, where the ball is making impact with the strings. I'm not talking the whole wind up and, they're 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 shots then and are more whippy shots now. But look at the point of impact. The game is very much the same as it always has been.
Except the power.
Am I right or wrong?
Yes, except the pace.
Now, looking back, what do you call Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic? Will it always be the big three? Because, there was a four horsemen, I think has a more a historical resonance. There was the Three Musketeers, and there's been a lot of things in history. Three Musketeers not being tennis players, being the historical fighters, right, or whatever. But the four horsemen for me is better than the big three, I think, in terms of history, if you've followed the game for that long. And the only reason why I say this, I know Michael Walker probably has. I encourage you to watch tennis from the 20s, the 30s, turn of the century, Big Bill Tilden, and so forth moving forward. It's really good to watch. But what do you call Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer after they retire? What do you call them? The Three Musketeers? We've already used that. It's the big three,
The three goats.
Basketball has a bunch of big threes. And by the way, we were talking about soccer, Messi and Neymar and all these other players.
He says the big three were Borg, Connors, and McEnroe.
That's what I'm saying. We've used that.
Well, we just used it again.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. What do you call them? And was that Michael Walker that said that?
Yes.
I love this dude, man.
Well,
this dude
there will be no
freaking bomb every time. Let's go, Mike Walker.
The next thing we're gonna say is the weak three.
Brings the pain every time.
The weak
three. Ever since I met,
we're gonna say the weak three.
Always bringing
Zverev, Tsitsipas, and maybe Medvedev. The weak three.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Mike Walker, that's the comment of the day. The original big three: Borg, Connors, McEnroe. Exactly. So, what do you call them as we look back? It has to be something different. The three goats, the ba.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? I don't know, but we'll have to think of something
Jose
different.
P says, imagine when the big three leaves and we have to look forward to Tsitsipas and Medvedev playing.
Yeah. I think that's when we start doing shows on cornhole. Have you guys seen this cornhole? I turn on ESPN sometimes and they got cornhole. They're throwing beanbags in a damn hole. It's like, what the hell is wrong with this world? I'm like, damn, freaking cornhole on my damn television. That's why I turn that shit off. By the way, I'm going to tease something out there. If you're a playing fantasy team, I'm going to give you probably a definite maybe. I give you a definite maybe that there's two players I'm going to be pulling for this U.S. Open that I can give you a definite maybe I'm going to have on my fantasy team. Opelka and Isner.
He just won. He just beat Garin.
Yes, we were watching Isner play Garin. It was on the TV behind us. We are still trying to find a way to get a small television and mount it on the wall back there so we can watch and then talk. Now, we would never do a live play-by-play because our buddy Cam, or not buddy necessarily, but we love him. He does such a great job. But sometimes it's good to see stats roll across the bottom of the screen and call them out. Mm-hmm. All right. Anyway, I think that's kind of it for what I got, right?
Yeah. We know Montreal's going right now. Let's see. I was watching some of the girls. We saw Andreescu go through 3 sets yesterday. Right now we have Karatsev playing Khachanov. Rublev just won the first set on Fognini.
Why did Karatsev go from beating everybody to now not winning very much? Carla, can you answer that?
Now his game is predictable.
His game was studied enough. He's been on tour long enough, and there's film on him enough for players to go back to their hotel room and pull out their phones and watch YouTube videos and read his patterns. Mm-hmm. He's been figured out. He had a good run. He can now have enough money in the bank to go do what he wants to do. He'll be fine. He made it to the top 10 in the world, top 20 in the world. But he has been
15, yeah.
He has been figured out. Great run for him. Good story, but it's over.
Duckworth beat Sinner. Lajovic beat Felix. Harris beat Lopez.
Pause on the Sinner match.
But Sinner just won a tournament.
I know. Last show we talked about Sinner having won Washington D.C. Okay, Holy cow. He beat Mackenzie McDonald. Is that right? Or was it Tommy Paul? I get those two mixed up because they both suck.
It was Mackenzie McDonald, and I thought it was funny when Kara said, "Oh, I love watching him," and I said, "Why?"
I don't know why.
I was like, "Why do you like watching him?
All
It's
right.
not the best thing to watch."
Carla, over the past 3 years doing the show, Carla has made a point to make examples of players that win a tournament, show up to the next one, and lose in the first or second round. Here's an example. Sinner did that, number one. But number two, when you look at young players coming up that are starting to win, okay, look at Nadal when he was young, Djokovic when he was young, Federer when he was young. They started winning tournaments, and after that tournament, they were winning every damn tournament. Boom, 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 boom. Tournament after tournament after tournament. Here he comes. Here comes Nadal and the Capris winning mad tournaments. Last show, I said that Jannik Sinner is just another player that's got the same game as a lot of players that can play that game better than him. And he only won DC because not a lot of people were there. Nadal pulled out. And you can tell that I'm telling the truth because of who he played in the final. Okay? Jannik Sinner, in my opinion, played the same type of match he played in the first round of this match where he lost, or this tournament, that he played in the final of the match that he won the tournament before. Jannik Sinner's nothing special. Okay, he was the best maybe of the next gen.
Well, he plays better in clay.
He's nothing special.
I told you that.
Yeah, he might be whatever, but he's nothing special. I wouldn't be counting my chickens or holding my breath for Jannik Sinner to be winning a major anytime soon. You can win Washington D.C. in 3 sets, mind you, against a subpar player, and then go lose in the first round of what I'm saying. He's nothing special.
Yeah.
All right.
Women playing right now. Once again, Pliskova and Bekic playing again.
They always play one another.
Anisimova playing again. Sabalenka and Stevens. Sabalenka up in the first set, 4-2. Sakari won her match. Not very exciting. Coco Gauff playing against Potapova. That's going to be a good match. And Halep coming back playing against Collins.
Let's go.
And Jabeur and Kasatkina playing again.
They're playing together?
Against each other.
I want to watch that. When's that match?
Not till tonight.
It's tonight?
Yeah.
Let's go. Kasatkina, you've heard me say this before, plays the game very much like Carla. They have some of the same strategical patterns, and they kind of look the same. They kind of, the way they walk on the court, some of the most beautiful parts about watching women tennis players is by the way they present themselves on the court, the way they walk, like Lizicki, she's my all-time favorite. Lizicki would get on that court and I'd be like, damn, Miss Parker, saw Miss Lizicki, love her. But Carla plays like Kasatkina. She has the same little attitude as Kasatkina has. So I always like to watch Kasatkina play.
So Simone says, yeah, I read the article where someone said they should play more on clay and the game would be better. I don't think that Sampras played a lot on clay, Simone.
Yeah,
he's a beast. I disagree with that.
Yeah, not a big clay court.
I mean,
Pete Sampras would habitually
skip
didn't play
a lot on clay
yeah.
either, and he was great. I mean, I don't think so.
Agassi was a great clay player. He won a couple of French Opens.
But he didn't play so much on clay that made him better on the rest of the surface.
The eras were a little bit different.
I just think that American men don't have the same guts. I don't think it has to. With me, it doesn't have to do that. I think they should play more on clay. I just think they've lost that fight. Or we have a lot of team sports, like everyone says.
Most people tend to agree that clay brings out the best player.
You have to be more patient.
Yeah, because it brings out tactics, because the game slows down a little bit. So I don't feel like that's true, though, because I don't think Rafael Nadal would therefore be the best player of all time because he's won 27 million French Opens. Look, I don't think someone that puts their finger halfway in their ass and
how do you know he puts it halfway in his ass?
Does anyone not think that half of Rafael Nadal's finger is not wedged in his ass? There is half a finger in there. And what I'm saying is that contaminates the ball. You got a stinky ball. You got a stinky finger. And I got to shake your hand at the net. I don't like Nadal because of that. If I played him, he'd be like, shake my hand, a good match. I'd be like, ooh. And then he'd be like, hey, I just served with his ball. Now it's your serve. I'd be like,
don't guys touch their balls? And their nose and all that. I've seen guys touch their balls and their nose. He does not put his finger up his butt.
Okay.
He barely touches his butt.
Okay. Here we go. Every young man or man on this planet has been caught at one point in time at a red light, at a stop sign, picking their nose. Oh, shit, someone saw me. My bad. Laughing about it. Everyone has been caught, passing gas. Burnt. Oh, shit, didn't mean to do that. Oh, my bad. Didn't mean to pass gas. Yeah, Sorry, even the sneaky one. People are like, ooh, okay. We've all sneezed in public. We've all done all this stuff in public.
Oh.
But has anyone ever been caught with a finger in your ass in public?
He's never put his
Rafael Nadal has been caught in public every time he's played a match since he began to be a pro. And no one's talking about this. That he's pulling out something with his finger in his ass. They should make a doll. They should make a Rafael Nadal doll. Like Michael Jumon. I've liked playing with Transformers. Jumon loves playing with a Djokovic doll. Let me go ahead and tell you. They need to make a Nadal doll, and all it is a finger stuck in a butt. They have Rafael Nadal's Raging Bull. They just, there should be a thing. It's like a cornhole. They should have a hole and a finger in it. And you'd be like, that's Nadal's logo. Call him Cornhole Nadal.
Oh, my God.
Codal. That's his new name. Codal. Codal. Cornhole Nadal shortened up. Codal.
Jose P says, what about Joaquim Love picking his butt, then putting his hand in his mouth? Any soccer fans remember this? Laugh out loud.
Ooh, gnarly. Is that one? Who says this?
That's bad.
Joaquim Love. Okay, Joaquim. All right, Joaquim and Nadal come from the same academy.
I don't think that's Justin. If you watch him, he barely, touch. Barely. I mean,
no. Would you want to go shake Rafael Nadal's hand after he served for the match? Would you? Would you want to go shake his hand? Thank you for meeting me, slimy. What I never understood. Have you ever met someone who's like, man, this stinks, smell it? Like you stick your finger in something, it smells bad. And you're like, hey, smell my finger. You're like, what the hell? Why would I smell that? I'll just take your word for it. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever picked up someone and they're like, smell my finger?
No.
I'm like, smell that. It smells so bad.
In Nadal, you must be watching him.
Carla, look, take a jug of milk.
I don't even look that far.
Take a jug of milk out the refrigerator. Damn, this is rotten. Smell that.
You have an obsession with butt and fingers today. I don't know what it is. What does Justin think about Serena's 3 titles they're talking about French Open? Does 3 wins on clay for Serena make it more impressive? Did something other Americans couldn't do, except ever?
I think any player that can win a French where they have their game suited for other surfaces or have multiple. I mean, creating the career golden slam. The career slam is a big deal, right? Sampras never won a French.
Yeah.
Right. Sampras was someone that we ran home to watch,
I did
every single day.
I did. I used to run to watch him.
Yeah, we would.
I would love, and Serena too. Like I would stop my job. Like when she won her first US Open, I was at the hotel. I'm like looking,
Yeah. And what was the farthest Pete Sampras? I know Michael Walker will know this. What was the farthest Pete Sampras ever made it at a French Open? Was it like a 4th round? Was it even worse? Was it a 3rd round? Did Pete Sampras ever make the second week?
I think he made a semis.
Did he make a second week at the US Open or the French Open?
Yeah, semis.
Man, I just remember coming up $1 short and a day late with Sampras. Oh, all the time, man. Anyway, Sampras was like everything to us as tennis players, and I was relatively old then. I mean, I was I in my 20s watching Sampras? Maybe even older. I mean,
he's 10 years older than us. No, not really. 10
yeah.
years.
So
is he?
Yeah, for me, when I was a boy,
he's not 10 years older.
When I was a boy, I would go racing home to watch Boris Becker and Stefan Edberg.
Yeah,
those are the 2 that Michael Chang, Yvonne Lindell, Mats Wielander, Pat Cash.
He's 49, so he's not that much older.
Yeah, those are like right now to a lot of you. There's Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, but for me,
I used to run to watch Steffi.
Yeah, Steffi Graf, Victoria Sanchez Vicario, or
Sabatini.
Sabatini.
My dad would make us sit down and watch Sabatini. Trying to think.
Who are some other ones? Chris Evert, yes and no.
Martina, I used to love watching
Navratilova.
Yeah.
Who's the Russian girl? Dementieva we watched.
No, I didn't run to watch her. Capriati. I used to be so excited to watch Capriati.
Don't forget about what was the girl's name? Zena? Was it Zena Williams?
Zena Garrison.
Zena Garrison.
Yeah,
don't forget about Zena Garrison out there. What about Malavea Washington?
I've met him quite a few times.
Some other
Todd Martin. Todd Martin to me was as boring as Andy Murray.
Todd Martin was kind of like Jim Courier-ish. Kind of that same.
He was boring. He was a certain volleyball.
But yeah, man, those were some players that were like around.
Yeah, Venus was good to watch too as well.
Venus is awesome. Yeah.
Martina Hingis, I love watching later on in her career. I never really enjoyed Chris Evert though. Never.
Yeah.
Monica Seles too. I got to watch her in person.
I just couldn't stand her
when
grunting.
she was 15. I got to watch her at the U.S. Open.
She just grunted so much. I couldn't
she
stand
could hit
it.
the ball.
Man, she was
really
like, yeah,
she was one of the
so loud,
first.
couldn't
Yeah,
do
that
it.
came out. Andy Roddick, I enjoy watching. Never watched Federer. Never really enjoyed watching Federer until much later.
Until you met me.
Much later in his career.
Until you met me.
Yes.
When Carla and I met, and this is a long time ago, but Carla was never really kind of following Federer yet. You know, he wasn't really who Federer is now.
No, I didn't like him because he won so much.
And my dad and I, who is 82, got Carla into it, saying, you know, watch his movement, watch his one. So yeah, it was a work in progress for you, but nonetheless, she came around. Okay. In comments, I need you guys to do us a favor. If you've watched the show this far, your family. I mean that. I really do mean that. When we prepare stuff, you know, a day or two in advance or whatever, we always say that we really, really feel like you guys, Carla and I, we have 5 kids. We don't have a lot of friends. We don't have time. We got to, you know, teach lessons, and we drop the kids at school, and we pick them up, and we come home and we cook. There's not a lot of time left. So to have you guys and those that are here, it means a lot to us. I really mean that, because we feel like we know you, at least personally. Anyway, can you do me a favor, please? We are trying to figure out, Carla and I, if this is better doing it with my cell phone stuck up there, or this setup, which is a laptop, a microphone, and shady internet. Can someone please in comments that has watched these for a long time, can you tell us what's been better? The first year and a half, or the first 2.5 years with just my cell phone, or is it better these past 5 or 6 type shows with this camera and the computer, whatever? Because as the U.S. Open starts, I'm going to do one thing every time, and I don't want to have to go back and forth and risk it cutting out, because the U.S. Open, we do shows every single day, and I can't really afford to have to restart and so forth.
Simone said both are good.
Both are good. Okay, and I know Simone's been around since day one.
Simone, yeah, he's been out. Simone.
But yeah, let us know in comments. A lot of people will watch this later, get off work. You know, it might be 2 in the morning.
Jose P said this setup is better. The audio on the other wasn't too great.
Thank you. I'm looking for that. Thank you, Jose P. But let us know. I like this better because
fam is the best fam. Yes, Lori.
Yes. I agree with her, but I can see comments here. We can react to them and so forth. So I like it better this way. But when the internet,
this guy says, I've never seen a show cut out when you use the cell phone.
True. And that's where I'm going with it. So
it could be the laptop too. It could be our laptop. I might have to clean it up.
Or I might just have to, I might just have to buy a cheap laptop.
Yeah, but and I'm going to end up cleaning this one out.
Or we can just give this to the kids and buy a cheap laptop.
But I'm going to end up cleaning it up.
And don't put anything on it.
Laura says, today sounds and pick all good.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right, guys, we love you a lot.
Love you. I'm going to go kick his butt on the tennis court. I got to get a workout.
Yeah, we're going to go get a workout right now. Let's go.
Get sweat before we pick up the kids and then go teach.
Usni style. Usni, Djokovic.
By the way, let Justin know that YouTube takes 33% of your money through YouTube.
By the way, it takes 33%. Really? So if you do a super chat, they take 33% of that?
I don't know.
So if you go to super chat and the thing, and I always tip Cam Williams, because his play-by-play helps us out on the tennis court. So we're teaching lessons and we can't see the match, so we put Cam Williams on. So every time I tip him, YouTube's taking 33%.
I don't know.
I would rather just have his PayPal account.
Yes, he said.
Damn. Well, don't do that.
That would explain why when Ryan donated that, you didn't see the whole
amount. Don't do that then. If you want to donate, don't do that then. That makes no sense, giving billionaires more money.
Well, that's it's okay. If you're going to sell something, they take a percentage.
But not 33%.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's a third. That's crazy.
He said only found out the other day. Yeah, just send it to our PayPal.
No. I'll
Venmo.
I'll send Cam Williams, because every time we listen to his match on the court, I always send him something because I feel obligated. We pay a cable bill and I can't watch it on the court, so I always feel obligated. I'll see if he has a. Yeah, if you want to donate, look, you in the description field, it tells you if you want to donate to help us, whatever. That we have PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. But if it takes 33%, don't do that. That really don't. I'd rather you not than did. Mm-hmm. That's just being greedy. The same thing we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. Don't waste your money, for sure. Mm-hmm. But we love you a lot. Don't waste your money.
PayPal does rock. I like Venmo better.
Yeah, Venmo is free. Doesn't cost you anything. Mm-hmm. There's another one out there that's Zelle, Zelle, or Zelle.
Manjani, watching you from recently. All fine, like your channel. Great team. You too. Greetings from Serbia.
Let's
Thank you for
go.
watching us.
Yes.
Oh, someone that doesn't hate me.
There you go.
Serbia.
Yeah, welcome for sure. Nice to hear from
Ross
you.
is my friend. I think we've watched a couple of his things.
Yeah, I've come across.
There's some people I just can't watch, but I think this one is good.
Yeah, there are. Well, we can't stand to watch the people that copy what we do. I won't get back into that, but we did a little game show thing when the
just to let it go.
Yeah, I'll let it go.
Let
It was absolutely copied. So some people, we don't care to watch that, but yeah, I've seen this young man.
PayPal is
Seems
free
like a good
unless
man.
you send someone an invoice, Michael Walker, but it is free. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, man, or men and women rather, thank you so much. Go get a workout in, and we will see you in the next day, 2 or 3. But understand that when the U.S. Open starts, we will start everyday shows as always. Don't forget to subscribe if you want a chance at $300 for one competition, and then the top 2 competitors are getting $50 each at the U.S. Open. Again, I'm giving away, if you win, a vintage 2007 Babolat Aero Pro, Nadal's first racket.
Do you have your hotspot on?
I don't know.
This time plus blue.
I don't know. We'll show me that in a minute.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. And we will see you in the next couple of days. Let us know in comments if it's better this way or the other way.
Adios.
All right. See you. Oh, you can end it here.